What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my Star Wars review series. I know it's been a hell of a minute, but shit happens and I got a lot of stuff to review. As I've said already, I am a casual fan at best of the Star Wars movies. I'm slowly getting a little bit more into them with these watches, especially because of nostalgic reasons and especially for the episodes 1 to 3 series. And this third movie, I don't remember it being as good as it is this viewing. I always thought that Attack of the Clones was going to still be the one that I liked the best because it always was the one that I was drawn to the most and the one that I remembered the most. But after watching Revenge of the Sith, this is easily, out of this trilogy, my favorite, and it does quite in a way, by far, beat the Attack of the Clones for sure. This film, again, Lord of the Rings, in my opinion, will always have the best special effects and the most future and ahead of its time filmmaking and cinema style than anything I've ever seen, being it came out in like 2001. But this film, compared to Attack of the Clones and The Phantom Menace specifically, definitely finally found its footing when it came to CGI and special effects. This film still feels kind of like a video game. It feels like you're watching something that is animated a lot, especially in the scenes in space and stuff like that. It doesn't, how should I say, feel real world, but it's not supposed to be real world. It feels like something that was supposed to be a cartoon kind of thing. It really blends that area. It's kind of, especially in today's day and age where video games are starting to look as realistic as possible, but you know they're completely CGI. This film kind of took the best aspects that CGI had to offer and really finally were able to work with them without making them look cheesy like the Phantom Menace did, for example, where it completely looks like a PlayStation 1 video game. At least this one is looking like a PlayStation 5 video game, kind of. Way better than that, but you know what I mean. The CGI has hit the mark where they can actually do something good with it. And although the characters that were cheesy in the last films, specifically Anakin, are cheesy again in this one, and same with Padme. Aside from those main characters, I think the acting, the script, sorry, definitely took a step up from the last film, and this is just an exciting film, and it's the one that feels the quickest. In pace because of everything that's going on with it. And it's just really good. I mean, the whole first 20 minutes where you're dealing with the space battle when Obi-Wan and Anakin are going to rescue Palpatine, it's fantastic with all the ships and the lasers, and everything finally just feels so much more realistic and entertaining and grasping to watch. Palpatine always gave me, well, in this watch specifically, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm older, he always gave me the suspicious vibes as soon as he was rescued. Especially encouraging Anakin to kill Count Dooku. I'm like, well, there's something fishy going on. I'm surprised Anakin didn't clue in or anything like that, or already start to look at him weird. Like, Palpatine was 100% acting like a villain to the point where I was surprised even Obi-Wan, went for a full rescue mission, because everything in his behavior was so suspicious. It wasn't even subtle. Like, he's talking like Count Dooku talked through the rest of the film. So I'm not sure how the Senate or the Republican or whoever, the Jedis, didn't notice this, but I sure as hell did. One of my favorite things about the opening of this film is the fact that R2-D2 actually fights back when it comes to the droids, like messing with them using oil and fire. I like how he sprays the robot with oil and then his jetpack lights it all on fire, and the flames look great. Again, for CGI flames, it really looks nice, and seeing R2 actually defend himself is something that I don't remember him doing much in the other films. He also does that really kind of annoying but kind of funny screech a lot in this film. The whole wow thing, or whatever he does. He does it a lot in this film. This film does a good job at, like I said, having a lot of corruption. The thing about Anakin is that he's already had so many trust issues, especially with Obi-Wan, that Palpatine was kind of just a recipe for disaster. But what's interesting is that the plotting that Palpatine had leading up to where he came from, like he inserted himself into the Republican specifically for evil, which is really interesting to see. And I like the conversation that he's having with Anakin when he's really talking about the dark side. And he's talking about Darth Plagueis the White, and how Darth Plagueis apparently found the answer to eternal life, or to stop people from dying, essentially. And where they were, like whatever they were watching, those huge bubbles with like swirly things swirling around them, was that some kind of like show or like theatrical thing that people in the Star Wars universe go and see? Because for it just being a a massive amount of bubbles and things going, swirling inside the bubbles for however long, seems kind of a weird show to watch for an extended period of time. But hey, I've seen stranger art than that people spend hours watching. So it is what it is. I find the name of the Wookiee planet Kashyyyk really funny, especially because it's spelt with three Y's. So it's like Kashyyyk. And it's good to have the Wookiees back in general, especially Chewbacca, which I totally forgot that Chewbacca was in this film, actually. Slipped my mind completely, so that kind of took me by a surprise. And it's cool to see the other Wookiees, because if my memory serves me correct, I think it was just Chewie in the old ones, and they didn't really feature many other Wookiees in those films. But not exactly sure. I love the robot that has the four lightsabers, and he spins the two in front of him while he's holding the other two back with like forearms. That looked amazing, and all the CGI and special effects in that scene were great. I heard a lot of people say that the last battles between Yoda and Palpatine and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin were way too long. I could not disagree more. They were perfect and they were needed, and I'm glad that a movie like this actually gave this Star Wars trilogy, and George Lucas gave this Star Wars trilogy an actual finale. Like a lot of people complained that Halloween Ends was short-lived, and that whole final showdown was just so ridiculously half-assed and short that it wasn't even worth calling it a finale kind of thing. And apparently this one is too long for people, but it needs to be that way. And I think, just the way they have, especially with Obi-Wan and Anakin, that battle was amazing. And when they're on the platforms over the lava on the planet Mustafar, I think it's called, and everything in the background looks fantastic. Again, it's like you're watching a cutscene from a video game, and I like that in cinema when they kind of give it a video game feel, especially in action movies. It really, really fits the type, and doesn't bother me whatsoever. I thought both fights were incredible. I love how Yoda was using the Force to spin those platforms and throw them at Palpatine. I thought that was great. Really, really tragic when Windu is about to kill Palpatine, and then Anakin comes in and stops him and slices his hand off. I think his transition was kind of quick. I think they would have to extend the movie, and I can't say that I would like this film to be any longer than it was, but he does go from like good to bad fairly quickly, and with not a whole lot of an explanation. But I do find it cool, like how they had the balls to show the scene where he walks into the training room of youngins, and then he withdraws his lightsaber, and it's hinted or kind of shown that he's about to slaughter all those kids. The only thing worse than that would be if they actually showed it happen, but this is obviously a film targeted to families, so they obviously wouldn't be doing that, but I like at least how they had the balls to even suggest it, kind of thing. I really found it funny, and I don't know if I missed something or not, but when Obi-Wan is talking to Padme, and he looks at her and he's like, Anakin is the father, isn't he? I'm like, no shit, doesn't he know that they got married? Like, wasn't he at the wedding in Attack of the Clones when Padme and Anakin get married at the end of the film? How the fuck would it not be Anakin's? Like, I don't think Padme was ever the type of woman to, like, be interested in any other dude but Anakin. Why? I'll never know, especially because of Anakin's personality in Attack of the Clones. I have no clue how Padme developed any attraction or feelings to that really, really creepy man, but hey, it is what it is. And although Anakin, or Vader, you can call him at this point, um, takes, like, kind of jumps into the dark side fairly quickly, he really does dive into the dark side, and he really does embrace it. Like, he's, as soon as he gets knighted by Palpatine and Palpatine gives him the name Vader, he's like all for it, and he's ready to go, and he's ready to betray everybody, and it's insane, because of all the morals that he was given throughout the film by Obi-Wan. And when he's crawling on the ground, when he got his legs cut off and he's about to be lit on fire by the flames of the volcanoes, that's always been the scene that's stuck in my memory the most, especially Obi-Wan being like, "You are the chosen one. They said you were supposed to destroy the enemy, not join them, or destroy the dark side, not join them," paraphrasing obviously, but really well delivered, and really passionate. And of course, Ewan McGregor is a phenomenal actor, so of course he's going to. But even in that part when Anakin's like, Vader is like, "I hate you," in his eyes and everything, so good. That's definitely a scene I remember the most. And like I said, I just love how everything looks, even though it's the beginning of CGI. It's still the point where they finally mastered the CGI, and they were actually able to make everything so detailed. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just watching these films back to back, but in comparison to like Phantom Menace to this, it just seems like a huge jump. And like I said, it's interesting how it still took this long to get CGI like that perfect when Lord of the Rings was doing it in 2001, in my opinion, better than any Star Wars movie. Casual fan, remember, casual fan. I don't know if I'm going to be reviewing the Lord of the Rings series on this channel, because those reviews would be so dense and detailed, and I would have so much to say. But hey, you never know. We shall see. Yoda looks great, obviously. His character gets a lot more to do than the other two films. I liked that. Making another video game comparison, this definitely feels like a platform game. You know, speaking with Anakin and Obi-Wan's platform battle, I liked that. The Order 66 double cross, that was pretty unexpected even now, because again, it's another thing that I totally forgot in the more than decade that I've seen this film. Overall, it's real good stuff. I think I covered all my notes here. Although Vader is evil, at least he had the morals to tell Windu before he killed him that Palpatine deserves to be tried. And he was using the Jedi way, and I can see where his confusion came from. Not necessarily his evil, but certainly his confusion and distrust with the Jedi, because I guess I guess the Jedi did a little bit too much Mr. Miyagi on him, and didn't give him like clear enough answers for his head to process, and they were kind of like Miyagiing him, like wax on, wax off, instead of just being like, "I'm teaching you how to fight." Miyagi's like, "I'm teaching you how to wax a fence," and it's all like subtext and subliminal messages and stuff like that. But anyways, I just like how he stood up for the right thing to do really briefly before he just dove into the whole fucking dark side. But anyways, like I said, out of this trilogy, this is easily by far the best film in this one. Still with the old ones, I think Empire Strikes Back is my favorite out of those. And when it comes to the ones following this review, The Force Awakens, and so on, first time watches. I haven't seen any of them. I've only seen clips of Force Awakens, and then Last Jedi and Return of Skywalker I have not seen at all. Nothing. So I hear a lot of hardcore Star Wars fans diss the shit out of them. And I see some people talk good about them. I'll just be judging them with a clean slate and for myself. So Never seen any of them, and I'm excited for that reason specifically. So that's all I got on that second trilogy, and then now it's to the latest one. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon. Stay tuned for what's coming. Check out what's on the channel already. And until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.